The work at the boatyard continues this week as we repair the osmosis blisters in our hull and demonstrate an easy and cost-effective way to hand paint your hull.
Build a boat, we're only as safe as our last hope. Keep our rope close, make us a bed of the softest timber. Poison oak.
In previous episodes, you saw us filling minor holes on Marul's hull. With the resin cured, it was time to fair the repairs in preparation for the next step. I'm a bit sweaty under here, but it's nice and breezy, which is good. We're really lucky with the weather.
Okay, so here we've got quite a large osmosis blister that we've opened up, and we've ground it all the way back till, well, there was no liquid left anymore. Okay, there's like a red viscous liquid in there, and we kept grinding until it came away, and actually left a bit of a red stain here on the fibreglass. Well, we've got rid of the osmotic problem, but now we've got a big patch of our hull that's missing some glass. So we're going to have to replace that. We can't just bog over it. Well, we can, but it's not the right thing to do, okay? We want to replace some of that glass and give it a bit more, well, restore some of its strength. When you put a bit of glass in here, it'll definitely stick to this one, and the next one will stick on and everything else like that, but it can't butt join. Those fibres are broken and it's all over. So that's the rationale here, is because you can't butt join them, it's better to have a big bit of glass with, well, basically mechanical adhesion to all of this, but then each bit of glass that you put in later on with resin over the top actually is bonding into that repair. So it'll give you the most surface area in one whole bit of strong glass sticking to the repair, and then the other ones add to the strength, but then they bring it up to the surface, and that's what we've gone and done. Before you kick off, you really want to get yourself prepared. So you want to have your glass already cut to size so you can just grab it and go, and your tools all well at hand, and make sure you're comfortable. We're working now, so we're in the shade. I'm sitting down, I've got this here, I've made myself a little work table, and everything's sort of within easy reach. Don't worry, it'll still turn into a little bit of chaos.
We've also got metho.
Yep, if you're using epoxy resin, then methylated spirits is good for on-the-go cleaning up.
And a rag.
And a rag. And of course, as always, Pascal is right beside me. So what we're going to do is we're going to just build up that glass. You need to make sure as you put it on that the resin is fully flooding the glass, and you try and get rid of any air pockets or holes, and you'll know that because the glass goes invisible. Alright? When I say glass, I mean this fiberglass, and it is glass, alright? It's long, drawn-out glass fibres, all woven together in a fabric, or thrown together like this chopped strand is. Now, when Pascal was preparing all this, she was cutting the woven mat, but it's better to tear this stuff, alright? The chopped strand. If you cut it, what you'll end up having is lots of little strands, and I suppose you can if you want, but I find it's easier just to tear it to shape. Alright, so make sure there's plenty of cover there. Like I said, some people go smallest to largest. We're of the largest to smallest school of thought. If it's a bit oversized, that's okay. If you don't paint them with resin, you'll still be able to just cut them away later on. So, you know, don't get too anal retentive about getting it exactly right. So we can see here, as I'm pushing it in, and it's being flooded with resin, the glass is just disappearing seemingly. All right, you can see through it really well, and that is what we're chasing. All right, so that's the first sort of layer done. So we're alternating woven matting with this chop strand matting. Chop strand, because it's got all these strands going in every different direction, has strength in every different direction, whereas this woven matting goes that way and that way. All right, so by interspersing them, by just sort of putting them through here, we need another little bit just for there. Oh, look, I've got another little bit just for there. When we were glassing with our friend David up in Cairns, he recommended that when you're mixing up the resin, you mix up the same weight of resin as the fibreglass that you're using. So these weighed in at about 20 grams, but I actually made up 30 grams of resin because I know that, well, we're going to flood it out pretty heavily.
An alternative approach is to flood each layer of glass on a tray before placing it on the repair. It's important to roll out each layer with a consolidator to ensure the resin is flooded through each layer of glass.
What else we got, Pascal? We got the final
layer.
The final matte layer. And so the final layer is the same size as the original one, and it's just to cover it all. And it'll just give us a relatively smooth finish.
Methylated spirits is an effective cleaner when using epoxy resin, although some people also use white vinegar. The last step was to tape in place a sheet of peel ply and make sure it was fully wet through, just like the fibreglass. As well as giving a smooth finish, peel ply carries away any surface contamination and amine bloom that may affect subsequent coating. With the first repair done, there were 10 or so more large holes to repair in the same manner.
I wish we could speak the truth. I wish we could start over. I wish we could make the rules. And I wish that we could be better. I keep asking what's the use. Maybe we'll know when we get older. Wish I didn't care about you. Oh, I wish I didn't. Oh, I wish I didn't. I can't run away from us. Been thinking you're the one. Been thinking you're the one. The one. I never should have loved you, but I keep holding on. Been thinking you're the one.
Ooh, satisfying. Here you go.
Yeah. Look at that. Solid.
Really solid. Cured fiberglass is extremely irritating and itchy, so I thought I might dress up for this job.
Just like a red cease, I can't get no peace. Spinning around in circles, trying to find my way out of here.
Next step is to apply fairing mix, in this case Q-cells. They can be sanded flat the next day.
After all the sanding, we washed as much of the hull as we could to eliminate dust that may affect the paint in the next stage.
Alright, well, we've gone and dropped about $500 on paint, which is pretty good. I mean, it might sound like a fair bit if you don't have a boat, but if you do already have a yacht, you go like $500, that's incredible. That's our anti-foul, and well, we're doing our topsides as well, not the deck, just the topsides. So we're going with Jotun, and I reckon that they do a really good application guide, and the chandlery was good enough to print these out for us. So we're going to just prime up with Jotacoat 605, and we were just having a bit of a look at the product description, but they also have surface preparation here, and that's valuable information. If you're going to be doing some painting, try and get hold of these guides. They've got lots of good information. They'll tell you how many litres gives you how many square metres. So for our boat, we know that it's roughly 10 metres long, and the white part, the top side, is roughly 1 metre high. Okay, so that's 10 square metres a side. So we've got enough paint. Is the main thing. We don't have to finish halfway through and go, the store's not open, we don't have enough paint, because we've worked it out. I gave it to Pascal because she's good with numbers. So, what? That's right, isn't it?
I guess.
Now it tells you standards of cleanliness and things like that, and it also in the surface preparation. Now we were using acetone, which is a type of thinner to just clean out the places where we're epoxying. Well, it says here that what you really want to clean this with is an alkaline product. That sounds a lot like TSP to me, Pascal. What do you think?
Yep.
So trisodium phosphate is the cleaner that we have on board. We bought about $5 worth, and it's like a massive container, and it's great on mould. It's great as a cleaner, and now it turns out that it's great for your surface prep for your painting. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go on. We're going to put Jotacoat 605, and then we're going to top that with Hardtop Ultra. It's a 2-part acrylic polyurethane, and with our anti-foul, people have asked us what we're going to go with, and we are going with Sea Guardian. So it's
Ablative.
It's ablative. It's cuprous. Okay, it has copper in it. It's based on ion exchange technology. I don't know what that is. It sounds like marketing people getting in on there. But the important thing is we've used Sea Guardian before. So with this one, we can just go ahead, prepare the surface so it's nice and smooth, and Jotun themselves say you can just go straight on there as long as you've got Sea Guardian before. So that's pretty good.
So today's the day we start painting. Troy is currently mixing the primer together. So he's put the two components together and he's mixing it. And we have taped up the hull and sanded and cleaned it yesterday, so it's time to paint. The technique we were using was to roll and tip, where a paint roller gives great coverage and then very light strokes with a good quality brush leave a fair, smooth finish.
Roll and tip painting is a great technique, and experienced operators, which is not us, can get a great result, and it'll rival spray application. We've included a link in the description to this video to Don Casey's book, This Old Boat. In it, he covers this and a lot of other great boat restoration skills.
Don't put the brush and go. Like, you've got to be moving when the brush strikes.
All of the hull repairs also got a coat of primer to help the anti-foul bond effectively. So this morning we're painting the top sides with
It's a 2-pack polyurethane.
2-pack polyurethane.
We put the primer coat on and we gave it a light sanding. So now I'm just going to wash it down with methylated spirits to get rid of any last bit of dust. It's had a freshwater clean and another degrease. So now just a metho, just any last bit of loose dust. Are you ready?
Third and final coat.
That's it.
This is the big one.
We'll brush and tip this one. So should be good.
The sprint begins.
We've got a nice, shiny, but a satin finish to this. So it sort of hides the evils in a 50-year-old boat a little bit while still looking kind of fancy. That's why we wear glasses.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Free Range Sailing. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like because it really helps to get our videos out to other like-minded people on YouTube. As always, if you'd like to keep track with where we are in real time, there are links to our Instagram and Facebook pages in the description of the video. Here you'll also find some links to books that we recommend as a great addition to any yachty's library. To receive a notification each time a new one of our videos is released, do make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button on our channel page. If you'd like to become a patron or contribute to the cost of producing these videos via PayPal, then we have also provided links in the description of this video. See you next week!